I'm not really huge about paying to perform. I feel like Austin should do better about not making artists pay to perform unless it's like a super like big crowd that will get you reach maybe. But like there's a lot of these small venues that will make you pay like $20, $30 to pay like perform in front of like 5 people. I feel like Austin, like these hosts should do better about, you know, because in all reality, as us artists, like we're bringing those people in. So why do we have to pay to perform?
Yeah,
I
To
feel like
bring
that's
you money.
something like some of these just Austin in general with these venues and these underground artists is like they.
Or
I
at
feel
least
they-
like have you sell tickets and maybe like split
Exactly.
that at least. Welcome to another episode of Opinionated Off-Topic. Off-Topic is a show where we talk to content creators, entrepreneurs, and business owners alike to give them a platform to discuss what they do. In today's episode, we have Janiah on. We discuss not only her music career, her journey, and what has gotten her to this point, but the struggles of a music artist and also being a female in the music industry. If you guys like this episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and be sure to share it with a friend. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Opinionated Off-Topic. Today with Carlos, with Janiah, lovely Janiah, and we got Rich and Mac off camera. Shout out to the boy. If you guys haven't listened to The Underdog, make sure you guys go stream that because he's dropping another fire project. What's it called again? Life Goes On this summer, so that'll be coming out. But we have his lovely girlfriend on, Miss Janiah. Super excited to get to know her. Very, very, very talented. You make great music, and it's cool just to get another artist on here, especially another female artist. Want to continue to push our female audience and demographic and things like that. So thank you for the time you're giving us this evening, and excited to get to know more about you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. Like you said, thank you. It always means a lot. Someone who also recently dropped a project. It was an EP about what,
Absolutely.
5 months ago, 4 months ago?
It was an EP in the next life.
Yeah.
That was about
Yes.
4 months ago, right? 5 months ago?
Yeah, I was in. I think it was October.
I think it
No, it was August. It was August.
Yeah, it's August.
Yeah, August 25th. I dropped it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the music, just give us a little backstory of where you came from to what you got doing now.
Yeah. So I started making music back in 2023 of October.
What?
Yeah. So I'm pretty new to
my
this.
gosh.
I originally came from Salado, Texas. It's like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I kind of already told you guys about this. It's a super, super small town, so I am not a city person at all. I grew up in the country, went to Salado High School, graduated from Salado High School, and then I moved into Georgetown, and that's where like everything changed, and that's when I started making music. And at first, you know, I always used to sing during my youth, but I was kind of scared of like actually taking that step of like releasing music because I was scared of like what others thought, especially people I went to high school with. And so I think what really made me go like, you know, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make music, is I went to Jack Harlow's concert back in, I think it was September, and he was at the Moody Center, and he gave out this like really inspirational speech about like, you know, I wouldn't be here today. I've had people tell me like, you're never gonna make it, but here I am in front of 10,000 people. And I think that just like really stood out to me, and I was like, I wanna do what he's doing, you know, prove people wrong, show people that you can do it. And so I started making music, and that's when I released my first song, Runaway, which isn't out anymore. I took that down because it wasn't me, I feel like, you know, I was still new, I was very, you know, uneducated about everything, like with the music industry, and I feel like I didn't take it seriously at first, so I kind of took it down. But it is exclusively on SoundCloud. That was my first ever song I ever released.
What was it, I guess, when you were a kid that like drew you to music and drew you to singing? Did you have like any family members or relatives that, well, I guess the same thing, that like sang and like that's what like drew you to it?
Oh yeah, so my dad actually was very musically inclined. Both of my parents were born and raised in Hawaii, Honolulu, and my dad was like a DJ at like the local skating rink. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called the Ice Palace, and it's in Hawaii. And he DJ'd. He grew up DJing. He grew up breakdancing, and of course he can sing as well. He played the ukulele, sang a lot. And then my mom, her family actually is like their whole like music, like their whole entire family is known as the singing family of Hawaii. They're like the Sound of Music. Have y'all Heard of that musical? Yeah. So they were referenced a lot, like compared to The Sound of Music, because they would do church choir. My mom did church choir. They did like a lot of like musical singing together. So I grew up around music. Like that's all we did was sing, dance, play the ukulele. When I learned how to sing, my dad, he would like pull out the ukulele and was like, sing, like, let's play a song. And so when we would have family get-togethers, he would just pull out the ukulele. I would sing in front of everyone, so.
Sorry, this is completely off topic, but are you Hawaiian?
I'm not Hawaiian. I'm Filipino and Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought, because I was like, she's Mexican, because your eyes look Asian. So I was like, she's Mexican and Asian.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
Filipino
I thought.
Asian, yeah.
And then like the Del Rio, so I was like, oh, she's Mexican and Asian. So I was like, wait, her family's from Hawaii. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, so the Del Rio, my last name is Del Rio, and that's where my Puerto Rican side comes from. My dad is Puerto Rican, my mom is Filipino Asian. So that's where I get the Filipino, that's where I get the Puerto Rican. But the Hawaiian part is just, my parents didn't grow up around their side. So my dad didn't get to know his dad, and he didn't grow up around the Puerto Rican side. And then my mom, she didn't really grow up around the Filipinos. She never been to the Philippines and all that. My great-grandma, she's lived in the Philippines, but my mom didn't grow up around that. They both grew up in Hawaii, Oahu. My dad's from Waipahu, and then my mom, she kind of moved around from Hawaii. She didn't really stay in one spot. But
Have you been there?
That's oh yeah. I visit
he
family.
went not too long ago.
Yeah, it's nice. I've only been to Oahu.
Beautiful.
I haven't been to like Kauai or Maui or any of the other islands or Big Island, but
I want to go to Maui. I've never been.
Super nice.
It's like countryside, my dad says. Yeah. Oahu's more of the city.
Yeah,
like
it's
touristy.
very touristy. Like yeah, for sure.
So my dad said if you ever like want to go and visit, definitely Maui, because he said it's like really pretty and countryside. So yeah, I'm not Hawaiian. My parents are just born and raised from there. Didn't know their real, side. No, you're good. I get that a lot. A lot of people tell me like they'll come up to me like when I'm working at HEB or something. Like I get a lot like of Hispanic speakers trying to speak to me in Spanish. I'm like, no,
Yeah, that's what
I don't know anything about.
No habla español.
Nope.
No sabes que right here.
Lo siento.
Is that not a fair? Why are you laughing? Is that not a fair question?
No, that is fair.
Dude, look, I get asked all the time.
No, but I'm saying like for me to like, I thought she was like Mexican and like Asian.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, you're geeking up at me.
Yeah, no, you're good.
But anyways, it's Hawaii. Hawaiians are like a very musical. I feel like are a very musical culture.
Very.
So like, I guess just being around all that and your parents being around all that growing up, like I could see how easily it got transitioned to you.
Oh yeah.
And
that's all we do is listen to music, dance. If you're around which will never happen, but like around my family, we're very loud. We're very like singing. We do karaoke, and so yeah, I grew up around, musically inclined parents.
So do you think like being around musically inclined parents and then having all these different cultures and backgrounds, like I guess what was kind of like that push for you to decide to pick up a mic yourself and actually take it serious and give it a go?
So like I did like talent shows. Like I always sang. I was just too scared. I'm still kind of dealing with it because I have like really bad stage fright, especially when I was little. So when I would do talent shows, I would like sing like in my room. I would pretend like I'm having like a whole show and everything. But I would say like after I moved out and graduated was when I was like, you know what, I want to make music. I want to take it to this next level. And so, that's when I, released my first song, Runaway. And so, yeah.
I'm assuming that your family always like supported you singing and like you got that affirmation from like family, friends and all that.
Yeah.
Why was it so hard for you to like make that jump into like performing it in front of people?
Yeah.
Even when you did do talent shows, when you like, obviously it's your family, so it's different, like you're used to them, but like you've always been performing in front of people.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's just like I overthink a lot, and so I'm a huge overthinker. So I think that just what gets me like super nervous and like anxiety, stage fright, like, oh my gosh, what are people gonna think? But yeah, no, I've definitely gotten a lot better with that. But my parents are super supportive of the singing. I know what made me really scared of like actually picking up the mic and like going to a studio and making my own song was that, I was in college and I was playing softball. That was like my main sport, and I was trying to get a scholarship, which I could have gotten a scholarship, but I turned it down because I was like, I don't want to play anymore. And so I went to college originally wanting to do become a dental hygienist.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just wasn't for me. I feel like once I had that, deep feeling of like, this is not something I want to do. I want to do music. I think that passion just really overcome college and everything. So I dropped out, started making music, and yeah, I'm following my dream and following my passion. And it was hard, getting my parents to be on board, because my dad really wanted me to go and do dental hygiene. But I just told him I'm happy doing this, and I feel like I can really go far with this. And so they've been supportive ever since then.
That's
so
good.
yeah,
that's good.
it worked out good.
It's not easy for parents to
It was hard at first.
Did your parents go to college or no?
No, that's why they
so
wanted.
That's why I said it's not easy, because we brought you here and you can go to college and do all this stuff, and you're choosing to do music, and
which
some
is
people don't get it, some
understandable.
parents do, and it's dope that your parents do. But I always tell college is gonna be there. It's always gonna be there. It's never gonna go away.
Yeah,
you can go back to
always go
college
back.
anytime. You can't go back and start your career anytime, because you feel like for artist windows, depending on the genre, it's just kind of you only have so long.
And
that's
and
what I
you
told
gotta, and if you start late, for example, making music, it's just way harder, especially when you're younger. A lot more people are more inclined to give you a chance, and to kind of push you, or they might see something special, oh, we're gonna pour all these resources into her or him to create this great artist, as opposed to you're 28, 30, you're not the image that someone might want to get behind, or whatever, oh, they're kind of old, how much of a prime do they have really when they pop and stuff,
Especially
and why
in
haven't
today's
they
age
popped?
too, because
Yeah.
social media exists, and that can get you so far, especially if you're so young too. That can take you so long.
Yeah.
So you started making music when?
October 2023, I believe.
October 2023.
Yeah, that's when I first released Runaway. Yeah.
So not even a year.
Dude,
Oh,
that's wild.
Yeah, not even a year. Yeah.
So
right? October 2023.
I don't even.
No, because we're in 24. You
Yeah,
said you
so
released your
not-
EP in August.
2022.
Okay. Oh, I was but still, that's pretty
October
crazy.
22nd.
That's still crazy.
When you first said it, I was like, wait.
I was like, what?
October 2022,
Damn.
yes.
I was like, that's insane.
Yeah, no. October 2022, my bad.
What were kind of the steps of when you're getting into making music and stuff like that? Were you, let me just go in the studio and kind of just experience it there? Or were you writing a bunch, or what kind of?
So, when I finally made that decision of I'm gonna do this, I actually reached out to one of my friend's sisters, because I remember back in junior high, my friend's sister was uploading music to SoundCloud when SoundCloud was kind of big. And I thought she was always really good. She went to American Idol, didn't make it, but she made music, and I know she kind of had stopped, but I still reached out to her and was like, hey, I'm thinking about making music. What do I need to do? Because I had no clue where to start, and I knew she kind of had that little info. And so I'd reached out to her, and she told me the first thing, find a beat, write to it. If you really think you can write to that beat, write to it. Find an engineer that can mix and master your music and record your vocals at a studio. And then you need DistroKid to upload and actually get your music distributed. And so, I first, I did everything in order because I was new and I was just listening to her. So I, found a beat, wrote to it, went to Spitshine, the first studio I've ever recorded at, and then released Runaway. And that's just usually what I do. I still write before anything, before recording. I don't freestyle. I just simply journal, turn my journal into lyrics, and then record.
Why do you feel like Runaway wasn't you? What about it was
Well, I feel like it was me. It's just at that point, I feel as far as sound quality went, it wasn't the best. I mean, it's my first song. Everyone starts somewhere. But I had released 2 more songs after Runaway. It was Encounter and Captivated. And, before I met Richie, I feel I didn't take it seriously, promoting my music. I would just upload random videos and selfies and stuff. I didn't really post things that were relevant to my music. And so when I had met Rich, that's when he kind of introduced the marketing aspect of everything. You need to promote your music, you need to market, push that music. And so I feel also when it comes to music, you want to invest in good quality. You want to invest in marketing. You want to put that image of good quality. And so I feel like my music at first just wasn't there. Especially that's not what I wanted people to hear from me. And so that's when I decided to rebrand and do In the Next Life, my EP. And so my EP was really to show people like, you know, in the next life, the phrase, it means like saying goodbye to someone or saying goodbye to your old self. And I was just kind of a way of me saying goodbye to the person that first started music and introducing this new Janiah who's more improved and has found her voice, you know. And so that's when I released In the Next Life and rebranded.
Before you met Rich, did like at that point in your head were you taking it serious?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely, you know, put that.
Well, no, I'm saying before you met him, like
before,
in your
no.
head, were you like, I am taking this serious? No, you're just
So
Well,
like,
I think I was just kind of just going with it. Like I just threw a song out there and was like, yeah.
So you even knew like you were kind of just doing it to do it in a sense, as opposed to like actually like having like this concrete plan, like this is how I got to do it. To like
I didn't really know.
Yeah.
How to.
That's
how to
another
do
thing
anything.
too. Like when you have someone that can lead by example, because when we first met him, he hadn't released, or I don't know if he released or was about to release. I think it was.
no,
I think,
he was about to release.
Yeah.
That was going to be his first project because we have the one of his original CDs, and you were going to release, I think, a little bit after.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But we dropped the pod right when you released, so the timing was good.
Yes.
I think we recorded like this the day before it came out.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, because he had done a couple podcasts to like get
Yeah,
further
that's
aware,
right.
build it up.
And that
Doing
was-
like a media run essentially.
Yeah.
And just from him, like, I mean, even a ton of the artists we know, there's some artists that are doing the media and the, you know, promoting and self-promoting and the branding extremely well. There's some that aren't doing it as well. But like Rich, for example, did that, you know, podcast run. And then even when we were talking off camera about, you know, details of like a cover or like quality and stuff, it's good to have someone like that not only is in your corner, but you guys also have like a relationship as well and can really like work together. So it's cool.
I just feel like I didn't realize like how important marketing is for your music, especially with people who don't know who you are. I feel like marketing is very huge.
Yeah, and very huge. But the other thing that doesn't like, I guess, get out there when people are making music is like that whole business side is very expensive as well.
Very.
With also like making the music, going to studios, paying for beats or whatever the case is. Like making the music alone is expensive, and then you got to pay an extra on top of this to like push you out so like you can be ahead of the crowd. That's another part that is extremely expensive that nobody ever talks about. And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it is because not many people know about it, even though it is out there for you to see, and like it's wide in the open. Like everybody's telling you what to do, but they still don't do it.
I think people just don't know what step to actually follow first, and then actually have that streamlined process that actually like is like, okay, I need to start here and to get to this end result. It's overwhelming for sure.
Yeah. And I mean that too, because it's like, all right, I know I got to promote myself, but where do I promote myself? How do I promote myself? What do I do it myself? Do I go to agency? Like those are other steps that people don't know.
Yeah.
And then like if you are the only one making music, luckily you had Rich. But if it was just you, you're just like, all right, nobody around me is making music and trying to do this, so who do I even ask?
Yeah. I will say if I did not meet Rich, like I don't know where I would be. Not gonna lie, like I did not take it seriously at all. But I knew where I wanted to be. I just didn't know how to be. You know.
Yeah.
So prior to meeting Rich, and then you make your first song, "Runaway." How did you record that? Like, did you go to a studio, or did you just do it like in your room, or?
Yeah. So I went to Spit Shine. It was my first studio, and I had recorded with SK Beats 512, my old engineer. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He's kind of he goes by SK Beats 512, but I found him off of TikTok. I was just like looking on TikTok, like engineers in Austin, and that's when I had found him and I had recorded there. But you know, as I realized that I need to invest in like better quality and better equipment, that's when I just told him, I was like, I'm gonna go to this studio, which is Three Hound Sound Studios, where I record with Sam Hines, the engineer that owns that studio. He's awesome, but I just kind of had to move on from SK.
Yeah, just like a little
I mean,
Can't
we
even
still,
talk.
it was no hard feelings. I just told him, I
Yeah.
was like, it was cheaper too, and like money
Yeah.
was tight for me, but it was good quality.
Is
Yeah.
that the one you go to as well?
Mm-hmm.
That's it's in San Marcos.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that from the
Crazy, bro. Like when I went, it's like a butterfly effect, and then everyone else
started going. Yeah,
People that usually went to like Spit Shine, for example.
Yeah.
What was the other one? This Spit Shine and
Orbs.
not Orb. It's y'all know what I'm talking about?
so we have a lot of artists on, but we don't know like
Yeah.
producers like that or engineers like that
Yeah.
or like studios like that.
Yeah.
Like if they tell it, the only one that we know is because Streetlight. The only one that we know and is because we shot there and we knew the manager at the time is Live Sound
Sound.
Studio.
Oh,
That's the only one that
Live
that's the
Sound.
only one that we know, and like I don't even remember the engineer's name, but I just know that studio. That's it.
And that's the thing too. Like a lot of the artists like we've interviewed, like a lot of them are like they pretty much all in house.
Yeah,
So they
that's
do a
what I'm
lot of
saying.
the stuff themselves too. So like when we do talk to them,
Nice.
like, oh yeah, I just do it myself. We're like, that's crazy. So have you ever thought about like doing that at all? Like
Oh,
learning
yeah,
about
like-
all of the ins and outs?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
When I get like the money for it and I get bigger, I definitely do want to like learn how to produce my own beats or like learn how to engineer and mix my own vocals, and so I can just record it like right there, get it
Yeah. It's
published.
Definitely coming more common these days because I feel like it's a lot easier to learn
Yeah.
how to do everything now, just because there are so many tools, and then people who typically make music get like addicted to making music, so they just research like,
Oh yeah.
all right, what kind of microphone do I need? What do I need to do for this, and this? And then you just same with this, just trial and error. Like, all right, let me try this, let me try that. And people just become masters at
Oh yeah.
engineering, mixing, mastering, and all that good stuff. So I feel like it's a more common thing. It was common a long time ago, but obviously I feel like it sounded a lot worse back then than it does now because quality of the mics got better for one, and two, you have resources to tell you how to do things.
Yeah. I know I definitely am interested in doing it my own eventually. It's just it gets expensive.
It does.
Yeah. Just as like rough drafts, like I want to like be able to be at home and like maybe come up with some rough drafts before I go into the studio and
That
do, like,
also
a
just
final.
save you time and money
And
there
money.
too. Yeah.
Because you already know what you're doing. All right.
You just
doing
need it
this, let me
cleaned
knock
up,
it out.
polished
Yep.
up. Yeah.
Yep.
Because the way we kind of do it now, we kind of just raw dog it at the studio. Because, we don't even know what it's going to sound like.
Yeah.
Like whatever, like we bring nothing and then we just kind of try stuff out. So definitely help if we had like something at the crib, just to like, get the rough idea down.
So you dropped your first single, just went away with it, deleted it, whatnot. You released 2 songs after that. When did you know, like, okay, this was, for me, good enough to put out? And what was it that was like, all right, I'm putting this out because I think it's good enough?
Well, those 2 songs, that was before I decided to rebrand and like realize that like those songs weren't it and I needed to rebrand. So like I kind of just released them, I think it was like every month or so, but when I realized I needed to rebrand, I kind of just took those off. But a lot of people loved Runaway. Like a lot of my listeners thought like, Runaway was like good, like, oh no, like don't take it down. But I took it down because I needed to rebrand and like come out with this EP, but I kept it exclusively on SoundCloud. So if anybody wants to, listen to Runaway, they can go on SoundCloud and listen to it. But yeah, no, I think I just kind of put them out. And then after, that's when I was like, these aren't it.
And then the 2 after that?
No, like I released Runaway and then the 2 after, and then I decided to rebrand.
To rebrand. Okay,
Yeah.
and then when you rebranded, like when did you know like that was like,
Oh, like
this
the
is
EP?
what, this is what I'm
Oh.
putting out and I feel confident and comfortable putting this out?
Well, I felt that way because I was in a new studio and I felt like the studio was a lot, it's what I wanted. And I felt like I got comfortable. I was experimenting with my voice more. And I realized like, yeah, this is it. Like I've improved. I'm out of the box. Cause when I was recording those first 3 songs before the rebrand, I was very like in a box. Like I didn't want to experience or experiment with my voice and like, just do a whole bunch of things like ad libs and stuff. I was very just squeezed into a box and didn't really try. I was just singing the lyrics I had. And I was very like timid. You could hear it. I had some people that like reviewed my music and was like, I can kind of hear the timid in your voice and stuff like that. So I definitely agree. I was very timid. I was very scared when I was recording. And so when I did the EP, I could tell that I was more, I was myself. And so, yeah.
What makes it like that? Like you go to the first guy and he makes you feel in the box, and I guess you go to the second one, and then it's just like, this is home. So like, what is it about like the engineers that make you feel comfortable enough to like where you do want to open up?
Yeah.
Or they like suggest you to open up and you feel confident enough to open up?
Yeah, so I feel like with the first engineer, like he was cool. Like we were really like, we joke around a lot. Like I was comfortable, but I feel like when I like didn't really know, because I didn't know anything. Like I just knew I wanted to make music and went to a studio. I didn't know anything about ad-libs. I didn't know anything about harmonies or how to do it. So he kind of took over and didn't let me. I feel like he didn't let me experiment. Like he would come up with the ad-libs for me. He was like, sing it this way. And like I just, and so when I went with Sam Hines at Three Sound Studios, I could tell, like I told Rich too, like when I first went, like he let me experiment. He's like, just do it. Like just say something and like just see how it sounds. Like he would let me do it, if that makes sense. So that's what made me comfortable, made me get out the box, because I could just say whatever and he wasn't gonna be like, that doesn't sound good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I felt definitely more comfortable with Sam Hines because he let me get out the box and pushed me.
So when it comes to like constructing an EP and stuff like that, how do you go about picking like these select songs, and how do you like condense down a project? Because essentially it's what does that EP even stand for? I don't even know. Extended playlist. Okay, so like, how do you go from making? Obviously, like people want to make albums or whatever, mixtapes or whatever, but how do you figure out how to condense down? I want to pick these 4 to 5 songs and then have them illustrate what you're trying to convey.
So I feel like with the EP, it was kind of like, I would say it was kind of like rushed. Like I also didn't have like, at the time I didn't have like a lot of money to go to the studio a lot. So I kind of only limited myself already to only recording a few songs. And, some of the songs that I have on the EP were songs that I've already written, and I didn't really have that many songs. So Rich introduced the EP idea because I didn't know what an EP was either. Like I was very new. I did not know what I was doing, and he introduced like, do an EP, it's only like 5 or 6 songs. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do EP. And so this year I'm having an actual, like my first album come out, hopefully in the next few months. It's gonna be like 11 songs I'm gonna do. So with that, I was supposed to do 13 songs. So to answer your question, I condensed it because I limited myself. It's not like I told myself, no, I'm only gonna do 11. Originally, I wanted to do 13 songs, but I was just like, I don't think I can write 13 songs.
That
so
fit like what you're trying to put together.
And so I know with this EP, I think, or not EP, this album, I think I really want to convey just like, it's gonna be called I'm Still Blooming. That's gonna be the album title, and it's just, it's gonna be conveying like I'm still growing, like I'm still like, improving and everything. So
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm gonna take it a step higher on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really about to say that. It's like a dope, like that you're still continue going, because it's like your first one was called, what was it called again?
In the Next Life.
In the Next Life, and they're like, I'm Still Blooming. You're like, you're still transitioning into your new life.
How Travis does with like the rodeo version of trap, Astro World, and Utopia. It's kind of like that continuation.
Yeah.
I love to look into things very like lyrically and like very like deep meaning. So
Yeah, just like putting something together too, because when you do grow your fan base and get it to where you want it to be, like someone might find you on your 5th, 6th album or some massive single, and then they go back and they're like, oh, these albums are her like when she was a lot younger. Then they like go through your whole discography and they're like, oh wow, into When the Next Life, is it?
yeah, In the Next Life.
In the Next Life, and then I'm Still Blooming. Like it's crazy. That'd be
Is
cool.
there your titles are very like, they're pretty deep, like they're cool, and is there something like your past experiences that you want to help the listener get through, as far as like things you've gone through personally? Is there ever a time where it's like hard to sing about that, or is there?
I feel like not. I mean, of course, like I make music so that if it reaches like people, I want them to be able to relate and like connect on that deep level from what I've experienced. I know most of my songs I take from past experiences, and I hope that in some way whoever listens to it can relate with me on that level. So yeah, I do want people to relate on a deeper level. I think about that when I write my music. I think about that when I come up with my albums. So
I was gonna ask, like, when you write your music, is it like stuff you went through, or is it just whatever comes to mind comes to mind?
Yeah, it is. I know with True Love, that was about, like, because I've been cheated on. And so if you listen to True Love, like, if you listen to the lyrics, like, it's very, like, if someone was to be cheated on, like, whoever's been cheated on can listen to that song and be like, I can relate. So yeah, all of my songs have been, except for one. I think there was one that I was kind of just experimenting. It's called Better Than Me. It's like a reggaeton, but that was just something that I wanted more upbeat and just something like different. And so I kind of just wrote something catchy. That's just something I wanted to be catchy. But a lot of my songs, I think lyrically from past experiences.
So that's something that's super interesting to me because one of my favorite artists is Mike. He just released The Highs like 2-3 years ago, and now he's just announced he's releasing The Lows. And it's just like talks about the lowest points of his life, and he's like talking about that. But for me, I always thought it was interesting with artists when they make their music, a lot of it based off like what they go through all the time. And obviously, your life changes and evolves so much. But I guess how do you go from like living your life just normal day to day, and then obviously you're like trying to take that and convey it into your art? Because obviously you're not waking up every day and like, oh, like, whatever I do today, I'm gonna write make this song about this day. You know what I'm saying? So like, how do you like separate that, or how do you like pull pieces that you think are good to write about?
I honestly I don't really think about it during my day. I kind of just, if I find a beat, that I really like, when it comes to when I have to write about it, I'll just make a whole page of like how I feel. I'll just write out just whatever. It doesn't even have to make sense. I just write how I feel in that moment or how I felt in the past, something I just want to write about. I jot it all down. I take certain phrases and then I make it, I fit pieces, rhyme here, fit it into this chorus. And yeah, I just kind of put it all together. But it's journaling.
Mm-hmm. You do have like a beautiful voice, you truly do, and you do have good lyrics. How hard was it to like, know that you have a good voice and that that you do sound very well and that it's a voice that can make it, and then B, go into now I have to like write and learn how to write? How hard was that to like know you have a good voice, but like, I don't know if I can even write?
Yeah. Like when I first started?
Yeah.
I could tell you like how I first wrote Runaway. I did it just like that. Kind of just saw it on TikTok. There was this like girl like doing writing advice, and she was like, just because I did not know where to start. When I wrote that song, I was like, I don't even know where to start. And she kind of just said exactly what I said, just write how you feel, take certain phrases and put it into a song. And so, I sat like in my apartment that night and I wrote a whole page of how I felt about my ex, like what he did to me, how wrong it was and everything, and how I felt. And I took certain phrases and I put one line and then I made a next line and was like, okay, what can rhyme with that? And so I kind of got it from TikTok, so.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, you got it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just TikTok has everything. Can you see yourself like from when you first started to like now progressing like your penmanship?
My opinionship?
Penmanship. Like,
penmanship?
Yeah, like how you write, like how good it is.
Sorry. Oh yeah, I feel like definitely I'm getting to a point where I don't even have to write anymore. Like there's a point where I am in like, I think for this album, I've wrote most of my songs in my car. Like I just kind of just sing out loud to the beat and like kind of just write it in my notes. I've almost gotten into a few car accidents talking about trying to write in my notes and sing at the same time, but I've gotten better. But
it's hard because like you forget and you don't want to forget that because I mean I can relate because it's something completely different. But I just walked in and I had to ask him a question because I was like, if I don't ask you now, I'm gonna forget. And like it's an important question, so like I don't want to forget.
Yes.
And so it's like I gotta jot this down. I gotta get
exactly
it down now.
What
Just
I do.
like, and it could just be randomly like this would sound really good right here.
Yeah, it's just easy. I feel like it's been easier doing it in my car just because like I can just do whatever. When I'm in a room in a confined space, like I've kind of found it harder to kind of do my old technique with writing. But I feel like this album that I'm coming out with is definitely, it still comes from life experiences that I've had, but I feel like I'm kind of I've grown my writing to where I don't have to make it about past life experiences as well.
So do you like, I guess when you're, driving around and you kind of like, I guess, create the cadence or melody for your songs, do you just like record voice memos or like hum a tune and then kind of go from here and then start constructing your song that way? Like how do you create like those melodies and stuff like that?
So in my car, I kind of just hum the melody out. I'll play the beat and I don't make any words. I kind of just hum or like just say random things that don't make sense until I find that melody that goes with it, and then I put words to it. And so, sorry, I'm trying to think again. But yeah, I'll just hum it, and then put words to it, and then comes out with the song.
There's one artist we had on. Her name was Evelyn Jackson, I believe is her name.
Yeah.
She would do voice memos because she's like an artist, as in like she plays instruments and sings. She does folklore. Is it folklore?
Yeah, or Americana.
Americana. That's what she does. Americana. She does that type of music. So she would always like play her guitar and like sing, but the way she would remember everything, if she like just thought of something randomly, she'd just do a voice memo and she heard it. And she's been playing instruments her whole life, so she like knows like what everything is. So she'll just voice memo it down, and that's how she made some of her songs.
I meant to mention that I do a lot of voice memos.
Yeah.
Like if you go into my voice memo apps, like it's
crazy.
There's a whole list of just random like voice recordings of me trying to figure out a melody. Sorry, I lost track of the question.
You're
but
good.
Yeah, I take a lot of voice memos so I don't forget, because there will be times where I'm in the studio and I'm like, I wrote this line and I don't remember how I sang it. And so Sam will be like, well, do you have it in your voice memos? And I'm like, no. There will be times where I completely forget to record, but most of the time I do have voice memos to help me remember. Other than that, I kind of just jot it in my notes.
You kind of, I guess, experimented with the reggaeton beat, but would you ever do like an EP or a mixtape or an album of like experimenting something else? Because I think he wants to do a Spanish album, and
like a Spanish type of song, just because like part of my heritage.
yeah. And I was gonna say, I mean, I don't know if it's really heritage, but like your parents coming from a Hawaiian background, so they were around the Hawaiian culture.
Oh yeah.
Would you do something with like, I guess, a ukulele or Hawaiian culture was?
I've definitely thought about it. Like there was a time where I was actually searching for like a Hawaiian like beat. So yeah, I've definitely thought about it. I really want to, because that's all. I grew up listening to Hawaiian music, even though I'm not Hawaiian.
Yeah.
My parents like raised me around that culture because that's all they like know. They're born and raised there. We eat Hawaiian food. We listen to music. So yeah, I definitely want to.
Poke is some of my favorite food. Poke is fire.
Poke, yes.
Yeah,
My dad
poke is
makes
fire.
some mean poke.
Really? I love
bet.
poke, man.
He used to have a Hawaiian food truck actually called Keone's Hawaiian Cow truck, because cow means to eat in Hawaiian. And so, cow means to eat.
Food there's crazy.
It's so good. We just had some recently for my birthday.
Yeah.
What was the chicken?
Huli huli?
Yeah.
Huli huli chicken. So good.
Like the rice with the butter, like steak.
Mac salad.
Were you born in Hawaii?
No, I was actually born in Germany.
Oh wow.
What?
All over.
I wanted to see the reaction.
International.
My dad.
Military?
Yep.
Yeah.
My dad was in the military. So I was born on base, Germany, Würzburg. Wish I was born in Hawaii. My brother was born in Hawaii at the Pink Hospital. I don't know what that hospital is called. He was born in Hawaii. My other brother was born in Texas. So we were kind of just everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it work? So you like, your nationality at that point is German, right? Because you're born in Germany,
I got citizenship and
Yeah.
I was on base.
On a military
I know
US
but you
base.
get like dual at that, no, or not?
I don't
No?
think so. I don't think so.
that
Unless
not
my
how-
parents didn't tell me.
I thought that's how it worked. Cause like wherever you're born at, that was your nationality, and then you'll have. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I don't know. That's what I thought. Like, but when you're in military, like, yes, you're an American. Because
Yeah,
you're on,
I actually
like,
don't know. I know I do want to go back
to Germany.
visit. Yeah.
I want to
sure.
go back to try the coffee. I love German
Ooh,
coffee.
yeah. My parent, like, if you go to, well, my parents' house, you're never gonna go, but my parents' house, they have like a whole bunch of like collections of like the German like beer mugs and stuff. Like,
That's
it's so
cool.
cool. Like, they have like a whole bar area of just collections from Germany. So yeah, I definitely want to
awesome.
go back. I don't remember anything because we moved out to Texas in like '08. I was still like very little, so I don't remember anything from
Hopefully
Germany.
next time you go back, you'll be performing their little German show. It'd be fire.
That'd be
It'll
cool.
be
Yeah.
fire.
So you get all the singing down and releasing EPs or making music. At what point, if it does the content come in?
What do you mean?
Like where you shoot like behind the scenes stuff or make music videos or stuff like that.
So I know like when we go to the studio a lot, we try to get as much content as possible. We try to do behind the scenes, like mini vlogs, and like you'll see it on my Instagram. Like I post a lot of like vlogs when I'm at the studio or just some short clips. I know for my album coming up, like even though I don't have it finished, I'm already planning on doing a music video for one of the songs on there. I think like next month, I hope I'm gonna get a music video done. But with the EP in the Next Life, when I shot the music video, that was after the release, I think. So it just really depends like when I'm ready to start shooting content. It could be anytime. I typically like to try and get it like beforehand. Or just all the time.
When the music video, when you do the music videos, do you have like any say in like the creativity of it, or do you let like the videographer like handle all that?
I definitely like to shoot in a lot of creativity. I know for in the Next Life, like I created a whole entire like mood board like to show them like this is what I'm going for. This is the song. Like I want these lights when I'm there because he has like it's Dan to the L. He has Trailer Park Studios.
Is that the one?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, it's the one out down south that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Is he getting in like a different space?
Yeah, it's something with his price for renting or something like that. It'll be pretty close though.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's the one that you sent in the group chat about all of us like getting different artists and like shooting one day.
It's
there.
over. Is it in Buda? Or, Yeah, that's the one.
Is he gonna stay down south? Do you know? Or
Yeah, it's not gonna be too far.
okay.
I think did he say Kyle or what did he say?
I don't remember.
I had a conversation with him about it, but it's gonna be like it'll be like 10 minutes away.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've heard of that place.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you think about
Pictures of it. It's a dope place.
using it for some
it's a dope
content,
place.
clothing, all that. Yeah.
And like I'll just look at his like page, like his Trailer Park Studios, and I see that he has like these certain rooms. But I know for like my music video, I just wanted to use the white wall, and so I know he can like experiment with the lights, the lighting, like do like a projector on there, and that's where I was like, hey, I want to do projector. Like I definitely pitched in a lot of it, and for this next album is gonna be even more like I'm topping it. You know, I'm going bigger with it. And so I created another mood board for him, and I was like, you know, I want these props, I want these lights, you know, set change. Like I definitely, you know, put my idea so he can make it into reality.
Yeah.
And I love that he can make it into reality.
So that is like the hard thing is like being able to find someone who can like bring your dream to reality, because it's not every videographer has like the creative eye to like, this is what I can do to do that. And we've been fortunate enough to like know two of them because we haven't met the Trailer Park guy yet. But he mentioned off camera, which friends I can't remember. Ralph Canono. And some of his videos he's done for artists, the videos are really creative and they've done extremely well. And then the other guy I mentioned, Oak Mob, his videos, he gets what you want without you having to tell him, which is the dope thing about him. And he has super, super good angles. So it's not easy finding someone who can get what you want.
And like especially with my music, like since I think, you know, very deep meanings and very lyrically, you know, I can tell that Dan, like when he first shot Rich's video, like he's very like cinematic. Like I've seen his work, like he does a lot of like cinematic look. And you know, that's what I really wanted. So I was like, I have to record with Dan. He was perfect. So
Is it what I'm curious too is like working with videographers in the music industry, because I feel like music videos are prevalent in all genres, but especially like it's so prominent in like hip hop, and then a lot of hip hop music videos are pretty like stale. Like they just kind of do the same thing, like in front of a car, in a house, with a bunch of people. Like it is just rotating. Nah, bro, and just rotating scenes. And just rotating scenes. So it's like, I'm sure like that's why it's cool to find someone like Dan, where it's like, no, I want to like tell a story. I don't want to just like do the same stuff over and over again. So that's good. Yeah.
Because I love to tell a story with my music. Like I always think about that when I'm writing. So.
And it just connects with people more too.
It gives it the visual aspect instead of just the singing aspect of it.
So earlier, we've been talking to Rich off camera, and he's been on the pod. But earlier, you mentioned how y'all been dating, and then you know he's kind of pushed your music career. What's that been like? Obviously, you guys have a romantic relationship, but as well have the same passion and career goals. So, like, what is that like having a significant other doing the same thing that you want to do?
I feel like it definitely keeps you motivated. Like you push each other, because there will be times where we're slacking off, or we're like, man, I don't feel like doing this. But you have that other person be like, nah, like you have to push. And I feel like having that person reminding you is huge, because like I said, like before I knew Rich, like I don't even know where I would be. Like I feel like I would just be in a standstill, because there's times where I just don't feel motivated, and I feel like he really motivates me, inspires me. So
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
Like a competition at the end of the day. You know, like we both play sports, so you know what I mean. Like
we're super competitive.
pressure gets applied. You know what I mean.
Nah, for real.
I was about to ask that. Like, do you ever just butt heads where you're like,
Yes.
bruh?
Yes.
Yes.
Some quickness.
Yeah, I believe it though, because it's like it's like she's like, hey, I just recorded 4 songs today. Like, what you been doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's good though to have not only a life partner, but like someone that's willing to push you in a way that's good for your development. But even together, like you guys are in the same lane, same industry. Like you have different ears, especially being in different genres. Like there's going to be elements you could take from her music and then vice versa from his music and implement it into your own sound and stuff like that. So that's super cool.
And y'all can just, it's dope too, because y'all can just bounce ideas off of each
Share
other
ideas.
as well.
Yep, that is
like-
super helpful.
It is good to like get another perspective, because like you and I make R&B music. She makes a completely different style of R&B
Yes.
music.
Especially-
it kind of like opens up the realm of what could you do on a song.
Especially from a girl's aspect for you. Like he gets the girl point of view for his music, and I get the guy point of view for my music. You know.
Women are like the tastemakers of music, so you know what I mean. So it's kind of like a firsthand, you know what I mean, like opinion from someone that would probably be listening to like a song.
I mean, it's kind of completely different, but they said, do you know what Magic City is? Well, no, because it's a strip club in Atlanta.
Just talking about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so
they got
there's
them lemon
a strip
pepper
club in
chicken wings.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they basically said, like, if the dancers there get off to your music, then that's how you know your song's gonna pop.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, somebody, whoever it was, did a promotion for.
Was that not like a? Never mind. I'm not.
What?
I'll say it off camera.
What?
I think that was like a Diddy event,
Oh.
low key.
I thought it was Jermaine Dupri.
Okay, my bad.
You said that's I thought it was Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah, it was Jermaine. It was Jermaine. It was Jermaine. It was Jermaine.
Boy over there
It's
sweating.
too soon.
I know it is that way.
Too soon,
I was like,
too soon,
I'm
too
sure it's
soon.
Jermaine Dupri. But yeah, I mean, it is crazy how like the woman audience can like tell you if your song's gonna be good or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about like? I'm sure you guys have music in the works and stuff coming out, but I guess making like a collab project, like has that ever been has that came across or?
It gets a little more difficult because like with your discography, like I'd say like in the early stages, it's kind of hard to just make like a joint
Collab.
project
Yeah.
because like you're still trying to find your own individual sound. I will say like once we have like crossed that bridge, I guess you could say like it could like enter the realm of possibilities, but like for now, like we're working on her album, we're working on mine, like we got songs on each other's. That's probably
Yeah.
the closest we'll get
Okay.
right now.
Features on each other.
No, for sure. I was just curious. Yeah.
Do y'all try to, I guess, drop y'all's albums, I guess, differently or not at the same time to like A, to not interfere with like the release dates or stuff, and B, just to like be able to be there for that person, like just emotionally, because like you do get unmotivated, like dude, I don't even know if like this sounds good, like stuff like that, like you get in your own head. So like just to be there for you, like emotionally, do y'all try to like I guess separate y'all's release dates?
100%. We definitely try to not drop at the same time. Yeah, yeah, because I might have to push mine like a little further and then him as well. But we don't try to drop at the same time.
I don't like putting set dates. That's a mistake I made on my last one, but
Same here.
you know, I mean, if that happens, then more
Like
normal.
put it out when it's like
This man was following
finished.
Kanye's footsteps, bro.
That Kanye, that Drake were like, you know, it's coming this day, and then 3
Yeah.
months later, you know, like where's the album?
I feel like as an artist, it's just kind of hard because it's like you're always thinking. For one, you're always thinking of like ideas and creativity and whatnot. For two, like there's like different stuff that you probably think of that like, man, that would sound good on this song. Like, what album was it? I think it was Birds in the Trap. It got real like it. Till the last second, his producer name is Mike Dean. He was working on it till the very last second because he was like, "This would sound good. This would sound good. This would sound good." So like an artist, like you're always just thinking of different ways to like elevate your music and like what would sound good. So I feel like it is hard to put a release date because you're always constantly thinking, like hearing it.
Yeah.
And because y'all hear y'all's album like how many times before it gets out, you're like, and you're always like, okay, what if we change this? What if we change this? What if we change this? So I see why, but you also have the same side of like, all right, if I don't put a release date, will it ever go out? Because I'm always trying to change something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
How do you know when like an album's done? Like when you're just like it's complete? Like there's nothing that I need to add to this anymore.
When I keep listening, because after I record my songs, like I always listen in my car with headphones on, just on my phone speaker, and I hear for like revisions that need to be made. Like I probably listen to it probably like 20 times over when it's done. And when I feel like I don't hear anything that I don't like, that's when I'm like, it's done, you know? So it's just all about revision. And if I do hear something that I don't like, Sam's super easy about it. Like you don't have to go and schedule another session, which the other studio would do, and it would waste my money a lot. But I could just shoot Sam a text and be like, hey, like, could you fix this ad lib, or like, can you up this vocal? And he'd be like, right on, like, I'll send it to you like tomorrow, and he'll send it to me.
That's
super easy.
Yeah,
that's fire. When you, I guess, make an album, how do you go about putting what structure of the songs you want to be on the album? Is that like hard? Because I feel like I don't know if that's a hard thing, but I feel like that would be hard for me. It's like, man, where do I place this? Well, this would sound good here, and like this, like where do you go? Like how to?
So that is what Rich is for. He is the order song person that creates like he'll listen to it, and I don't know what it is. He just knows what song goes where.
It has to do with like the pacing, you know, because like even on her last one, we kind of like assembled it in a way where like I don't know how, but like you know, like when you listen to it, it's just like you know smooth, like it's nothing like no, like you know what I mean, like it's just like one straight line.
Yeah.
And even Marcus, the dude that was just in here, I actually worked on his track list too. So a lot of that like ordering the composition, like you know, me and him kind of just like talked it together.
Yeah.
There's another big artist dropping an album, I think in May, but I can't really say who, but like even then, like I spoke with her on the phone for like maybe like 20 minutes, and now I'm like working on a track listing for her album. So it's probably just like something I have, I guess.
Yeah.
I know for this album though, like I already know what I want to be, like what song I want, like the first song to be.
This time around, you know what I mean? Like it's like the years kind of evolved, so you know what you want this time around.
Yeah.
I guess too. Like obviously, you're making music more so for the consumers too. So how do you know when to either show people you really trust with it, with you know either coming to the studio with you and hearing it in person, or sending them stuff here and there and then getting their feedback? How do you like take that into account into the album that you're making?
Well, I know when I first moved out, like to Austin, away from my hometown, I kind of lost touch with like a lot of my friends. I kind of came out here with no one. Like I didn't really have anyone around me. So at first, you know, I kept in touch with like a few of coworkers I used to work in Salado with. And, you know, as time progressed and I would send them like, you know, hey, like I just recorded this. I would invite them to the studios and they just wouldn't like show up. So I don't really have any ears anymore. But at first I would send it, they would tell me. But I feel like now I kind of just show Rich or like a few coworkers at HEB. But I kind of came out here with no one. So... Yeah. I kind of had to start from ground zero, and luckily Rich introduced me to a lot of people.
Yeah. What inspiration has the city of Austin given to you for your music?
I will say, like, I feel like there's not a lot of R&B artists here in Austin, so it's kind of hard to take that inspiration from Austin. I feel like it's a lot of rap or like hip hop and just not my type of music. And so I kind of take a lot of inspiration from like artists I listen to mainly. So like Alina Baraz, Kali Uchis, Jhene Aiko, all those female artists, SZA, Summer Walker, all of them. So I kind of just listen to them, take that inspiration. I feel like it's hard for me to take inspiration from Austin.
Yeah, there's not really. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, with your dad being a DJ, like, is there a lot of music that like he would play or that your parents would play that influenced you?
Yeah, I would say Sade. Y'all know who Sade is?
Yeah.
So my parents actually told me, like, randomly, my mom had texted me one day and she goes, you know, your music really reminds me of Sade. And I was like, oh, really? And so, like, I listened to it and I can kind of hear, like, the vibe of it. Maybe not, like, sound like her, but, like, the vibe of it. So, like, my parents would play, like, a lot of that type of music. And so even their friends would go up to them and be like, she sounds like Sade, without them even, like, saying anything. So I guess I take that musically aspect of Sade. So.
Who's your favorite female artist right now?
Gosh, it switches so much. It was Kali Uchis, but I feel like now it's more so of like Alina Baraz. I listen to her and take a lot of inspiration from her. So it kind of switches. Like I go back and forth between artists.
Yeah, that's I'm pretty like set with my artists, but that's how he is. Like he listens to so much music, his like favorite artist or favorite song album just always shuffling.
I'm the same way. Like before I met Rich, I would just listen to like. I didn't really understand how to listen to albums. Like, when I listen to albums...
You put it on shuffle?
Yes.
No. No.
And like,
No.
half
You gotta
the
listen
time...
to the first, like, I would say, like, the first 2 or 3 go-arounds in order.
Yeah, like, half the time, like, I wouldn't even stick to one artist. Like, I would probably listen to, like, one song by, like, one artist. And, like, the type of music I listen to is very diverse. Like I don't stick to one. Like I can listen to rock music, I can listen to country, you know, like all of it. And so when I met Rich, that's when he like introduced me to Drake, and like I actually started listening to his music and his albums in order, and like so I did not know.
Also played a part in the sequencing of like how you put your album together.
Yeah, it definitely helps too.
You know, you like learn from people that aren't in your genre. You kind of get to see like Drake, for example, how he does his, or like if I play like Kanye's album, you know what I mean? Like she'll get like how that pacing intertwines, like how to sequence your album.
You had mentioned like rock, country, and all that. Would you ever do vocals for like a different genre that you're not typically, like EDM, for example?
I'm open-minded. Like honestly, I am super open-minded. Like I probably want to do it one day. You know, I want to experiment. I want to be diverse and be versatile with my music. So, but I think mainly I will probably stick to R&B soul.
Would you ever write for other people or give a song to someone that either A, you just can't get to, or you think they would sound better with it?
I don't know. I feel like just like since I'm very new and I like kind of just started, like I feel like I'm still trying to learn how to write, and there's times like even with this album, like I'm struggling right now. Like I am out of ideas. Like I don't know what to write about anymore. So I feel like when I get that more like experience, maybe, but right now probably not. I'm still learning like myself.
Well, that was just kind of it for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I have one more question, but it's a question that we just kind of always ask everybody. I don't know if you have anything else.
No. I think that's everything. Actually, last question, which we haven't interviewed an artist in a while, so got to get back to asking it. But what do you think there's something that can change in the Austin music scene that'll help artists grow?
I feel like I honestly don't know. I don't know. I feel like I don't have a say in like what other like artists, you know, should really like do more of, or what Austin should consist of, because I'm still learning myself.
Well, I
so.
guess to follow up off that question is, since you're kind of just starting out, what are some of the things that you noticed that I guess being in the scene that is limiting you, or like people are kind of like gatekeeping, I guess, or something like that.
Gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Per courier's up.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe like venues. I feel like venues are super hard to like, because I feel like you have, like, I'm not really huge about paying to perform. I feel like Austin should do better about not making artists pay to perform, unless it's like a super like big crowd that will get you reach maybe. But like there's a lot of these small venues that will make you pay like $20-$30 to pay like perform in front of like 5 people. I feel like Austin, like these hosts should do better about, you know, because in all reality, as us artists, like we're bringing those people in. So why do we have to pay to perform?
Yeah.
I
To
feel like
bring
that's
you money.
something like some of these like just Austin in general with these venues and these underground artists is like they, I
Or
feel
at least
paying
like
for-
have you sell tickets and maybe like split
Exactly.
that at least.
In a way, it's kind of like insurance for them, because if you don't end up selling tickets, like they still made their money.
Yeah. No, for sure. For
So
sure.
I just feel like at that point, like it's a waste of my time and my money, because I'm sitting here performing in front of like 3 or 5 people, and also like one, like the venue isn't professional, or it's like super like the stereo system is like overpowering your voice. Like I've been at some pretty bad venues.
I feel like that's hard because it's like the venue has to care. We shot at Antone's not too long. Well, it was actually kind of long ago, but like that venue, like for it being, I guess, like a quote unquote known venue, I feel like the whole production side of it is not good. We also shot at Round Rock Amphitheater.
Yeah,
That venue, the production for that one is god awful for what it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah. You would think that like a venue that I'm not trying to throw like I'm not trying to throw shade or nothing, but like you would think that a venue that like has that much, I guess, that holds that much like power to their, like Antone's has been around 50 years,
Yeah.
but like
And it's not even throwing shade, because it's like I feel like
Just
if
feedback.
you hear it, yeah, it's exactly. If you're hearing this, like it should be feedback for you.
Yeah.
well, and it's like if you want to, I mean, don't get me wrong, like we got some good pictures at Antone's, like, but I mean, you can have better like lighting, like for the artist, you know, because not every artist is gonna have a photographer that like that knows what they're doing, you know. Not every artist is gonna have a seasoned, experienced photographer or videographer. So like to help those other artists that are up and coming, like you're selling these tickets, you have these people coming in, like invest in better lights, invest in your I mean, I don't know what goes on.
Yeah.
But like that's just from my like standpoint and from like what we experienced. Like invest in some better lighting.
Especially like a lot of them will say like, oh, we're doing this for y'all, like we're doing this for the artist, but like I don't know, I just feel like it's like for money at the end of the day for them.
It is.
Just to collect a check.
It
Yeah,
is.
so I
mean,
kind of wish Austin just improved on that, but like for me, I just, if it's not free to perform, I'm not performing. Like,
One day we'll change the game when we have a warehouse.
what was the other one we shot at?
On 4th Street?
Yes.
That one was Sellers Underground.
Sellers
But
Underground. That one had good lighting. I felt like
That lighting was pretty good
for
actually.
like the venue of what it was, the lighting was pretty good.
But that was like the EDM club, you know? Like
Yeah, but the lighting was still good though.
that's
Yeah.
why. Like,
Yeah, that's
well,
why.
yeah, I get, yeah, saying yeah, I get what you're saying.
you know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
No, that does make sense, because I've always been curious, and like nothing to take away from like performing locally,
Yeah.
but I do think there comes a point to where like you got to kind of look at, like you're saying, like cost, you know, benefit, and seeing if it is actually productive for you to grow. And then maybe if I don't do these shows, but I save this money and invest it, and maybe even travel outside of Austin, like do a show in like San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, to really expand. Because I think a lot of the problem is with the artists here is a lot of stuff is like, from what I've seen, is just a lot of the stuff's like very centralized. And then the people that are successful, they get a song that has, you know, a hit, and then they take it and run with it, and they like promote it. They go travel, they spend the money, they go to, you know, TuneCore in New York and like network and shake hands. Because really that's all it is too. Like once you network and use South by Southwest, for example, that was just here, for what it is, like actually meeting people, actually networking instead of just, you know, trying to perform as many venues as you can. Because genuinely, there's not a lot of people will go to stuff because it's something to do. They might like your music, they might not, but I'm even looking at some of these set times. You get 10 minutes. It's like
exactly
what is that?
Bro, that's
a lot of them.
What is that? Half
you,
songs?
2 songs.
Yeah.
They'll
Like-
make you pay, and like it's like, oh, you can only perform one song, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's not even performing.
And
Like,
it's just like you're gonna see that and you're gonna be like, oh, that was good, but all right, who's next? Like you're not like a consumer is not gonna like that's not gonna register with
But
them.
I also feel like that's like where the manager part comes into because there's another girl that we held on. Her name was from Dallas, the Mexican girl. I can't remember her name.
From Dallas. Oh, you talking about XB?
Yes, XB Valentine. Like her manager has set her up with like, yes, they're like older now, but they're still like legends at one point in the game.
Yeah.
And like he gets her on like these different venues and shows just because he knows people and he knows how to get them on without her having to pay. And like she'll be like, what's it called before the main performer?
The opener.
Yeah, the opener. She'd be like the opener. And
I saw
then
that.
and then stuff like that. But it's like that's where like if you can find like a good manager and whatnot, they can do that for
And
you.
when
where you
these
don't
older
have to pay.
artists too, like Paul Wall and all those type of guys, like they already have been super famous, had their super peak, and now they're just like doing shows as they please. So they're gonna have like a real dedicate. Like if you're seeing like someone like that now, then you really like them typically, or unless you're seeing them at a festival. So it's like a one-off show, like, and you're able to open up for something like that. Then you're gonna actually have dedicated fans to that artist that are actually gonna pay attention to whoever is opening up for them. Because like, oh, if this artist I really like is having this person open up for them, then they must really be good, or I might like them, and then just stuff like that. So yeah, management is definitely key too.
I know definitely we're gonna start like doing more professional. Like I said off camera, like we want to do like where a live band is performing, like a drummer, guitarist, like actually live in Austin. So more professional.
Yeah.
Live with instruments sounds so much better.
It
just
adds
feels
so
different.
much flavor.
It just
adds
feels
so
different.
much.
It feels so much better. But I mean, I asked this question once before we hit this off. You got anything else that you want to?
No, that
Chime
was
in.
that was a really good interview, and just super excited to get to know you. Heard a lot of good things about you, not only from Rich, but from the boy Bert, who's helped set this up, and just a lot of stuff we were talking about off camera. We've all been talking amongst us three. We've all been talking about, you know, how are we gonna, you know, further our documenting style, and then obviously we have a lot of connections with artists and stuff. So just getting kind of back into that lane and stuff, just like opening up that lane of creativity for us to, all right, how are we gonna like help them, you know, blow up and, you know, create different types of content that a lot of artists aren't even like thinking about doing and stuff like that. So it was super good just to talk to you, get to know you, and I'm excited for your album. So just whenever, if you need any help with any feedback, or I mean, even just like connections and stuff like that, we'll definitely do our best to make that happen for you. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Content as well.
Yeah.
I mean, behind the scenes stuff like
Yes.
studio sessions. We're happy to help.
yeah, just let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, we're
For
always
real.
down for
We're
vibes
down.
like that. That's
With
so
him and I
fun.
went to one before. They're dope. I mean, they're
Yeah.
close, intimate. Everybody's grinding,
That-
and working.
that's
but
Bro,
it's-
we were there.
It's dope to see.
Everyone was.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. That was crazy.
I was
but-
like, hey, look,
Yeah.
I was like, you know, we're with them. I feel kind of safe. I feel kind of safe.
That was crazy. But yeah, let us know, man. We're always down. But again, thank you. It was a pleasure. This won't be the last time. I mean, like you said, we haven't done many round twos with people, but we're slowly transitioning that. So this won't be the last time. I'm looking forward to what the future has for you. You have a beautiful voice. Shout out to Rich. Shout out to everything he's done for you.
Yes.
If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have listened to the album. So you're blessed enough to have someone who supports you and cares about what you're doing, and to send to everybody that he knows, hey,
Facts.
this is my girlfriend's music. Check it out for me.
Yeah, that's super dope.
That's super dope. So shout out to you.
Yes.
I got one last question.
Go ahead.
The advice your friend's sister gave you as far as finding a beat, writing to it, and then getting DistroKid, knowing what you know now about like the marketing side of everything, the creative side of everything, what 3 things would you give to yourself if you could go back in time starting?
I feel like I did everything. I feel like the right way is just the marketing aspect, taking it seriously. I feel like I really wish I did that, because I probably would have been able to keep those 3 songs that I had out. But definitely marketing, taking it seriously, and just promoting my music and posting things relevant to my music instead of irrelevant stuff. So that's one thing I would probably tell my old self, is just take it seriously.
Again, pleasure as always. Before we hit this off, is there any shout out you want to give or anything for us?
Shout out Rich, which we already said,
Shout out
but
Rich,
that's
we already
about
said
it.
That's about it.
Thank
Shout out
you for
Rich.
having me.
Of course. So,
Oh, Sam Hines, yes. Shout out Sam Hines. I don't know. Yes, that's the engineer. So shout out Sam Hines, the GOAT. Love you. So yeah, I think that's all I have.
We're gonna have everything down below, so they'll know where to find you. Release date TBD for the album.
To be determined. Yes.
Alrighty. That'll do it for our boys over here at Opinionated. We'll catch y'all guys next time. Peace.